What's up, fight fans? We are heading all the way to Sydney, Australia this weekend with some absolutely outstanding matchups. Dricus du Plessis versus Sean Strickland, rematch world title main event. This is one you're not going to want to miss. And just for you, to make this fight night even better, I have teamed up with DraftKings to bring you all a great offer right now. DraftKings is giving all new customers $200 in bonus bets instantly after they place a wager for just $5. So don't wait. Download the DraftKings app. Do it right now. When you sign up, use the code SONNEN. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Stay in on the action. Use your $200 in bonus bets for same-game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. You can combine multiple bets together from the same fight. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy for a shot to win cash prizes. I want you to download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. When you sign up, place in at least a $5 wager, use the promo code SONNEN. Get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code SONNEN only at DraftKings Sportsbook. What's the worst thing that ever happened to you? And let's narrow it down because we're talking sports. So whatever that was, whether that was you getting beat out for the team, someone not believing you, coach hurt your feelings, like whatever that might be, and it can be very personal to you, but just think of it. What was the worst thing? The game, and it came down to her, you dropped the pad. I mean, what's the worst thing that happened to you? Is it hard for you to talk about? I mean, is it an uncomfortable thing? Where that pass was just so important to you? Somebody teased you? You felt like you failed? Dream didn't come true. Okay, but think of it. And now just let me ask you a question. I think that is a very relatable human thing. No matter the level of severity, if it's the biggest thing to you, it's the biggest thing to you. But let me ask you a question. Let's take that thing. Let's take that moment you didn't make the team. Let's take that big game when you screwed up in overtime. Let's take that big game where you missed the block, you dropped the ball, you didn't get it into the hoop. Really think of that. Now I want to ask you, if you got $8 million for that experience, do you still look at it as a terrible experience? The very thing that you just told me is the worst thing athletically that's happened to you. If in that moment you get $8 million for that experience, do you still feel like a loser? Does it still haunt you? Is it something you still don't want to talk about? What if you became famous over it? In fact, how about both? You get the $8 million and you get international fame. Now the world, this thing that was your worst moment, now all of a sudden it does change because now other people saw it. A lot of people don't know right now. For a lot of us, when you struck out, there was nobody watching, just your dad, and maybe he made you feel bad, but now I'm talking about the whole world's going to see you strike out. Can you live with that? And you're going to get $8 million for it. Does that still become the worst moment of your life, athletically speaking? Now, friend, if you got $8 million for an F-up in sport, you won, just so you understand. If you became famous off of a sport, no matter how it went, you won. You won. And Conor McGregor spit on a guy yesterday who just said Khabib's name to him. Like they're passing each other. I believe this was in Vegas. Conor looks great. It doesn't look like he's sauced up. And the guy say, Khabib, something like this. Says Khabib, saying Conor gets so mad. And then he does this real fruity little. I think that was my bigger problem with this. Like if you got yourself in that situation, you get the guy. You ever spit in somebody's face? Have you ever had it done to you? I've never done it to anybody. I've had it done to me twice. Same guy both times. Justin. Spit right in my face. It's a terrible feeling. You can feel the spit. It's warm. That is gross. You're trying to wipe. Oh, man. You're trying to get it off your face. Like there's a way that you spit on a guy. Conor, gotta fine him for the spit, by the way. I mean, guys have been sanctioned in certain jurisdictions that have nothing to do with fighting, but they will have some kind of an altercation. Like historically speaking, guys have been sanctioned in these matters. If they were to call Conor in, he should have to explain that. Hey man, you're clearly drunk there. You know, you were losing control of your face. You know, you lost some of those mechanics. Were you stoned? Is this a drug situation? Like, you gotta find out what. You gotta find out. And isn't it a sign of PTSD? I mean, isn't there something going on there with Conor? And listen, Conor is one of the greats. Truly. And there's a fine line with genius and insanity. And that really does fall onto artists more than it does anyone else. That fine line, that genius insanity, right? That Picasso, that Da Vinci. It really does fall to artists. Michael Jackson, Prince, Conor. And you do wonder at times, was there a little bit of crazy? Is that what served them and got them through some of those moments? It is a very fine line. So I'm not necessarily coming out and condemning Conor. I'm condemning the little fruity spit. That I'm condemning. But I'm not condemning the anger that Khabib could bring him. I'm just telling you I have a confusion for, historically speaking, even within Conor's own career. Conor does not break bad unless it's for a media opportunity. Conor does not break bad unless there's a payout at the end or a potential payout at the end. This was to a guy in a hotel that said Khabib, who was happy to see Conor. He was very clear that this heckler was really happy to see Conor. He was excited to see Conor. The heckler probably wished that Conor would have spit on him appropriately. Not probably. But I'm just sharing for you to see somebody get that angry or to lose their temper to that degree over something that is not media. You're not working. You don't have a potential payout. It's unusual. It is very unusual. And I don't know if we want to just sit back, observe it, and move on with our lives. Or do you want to get a hold of him and get him into some therapy? Get him into some counseling? It does seem to be a larger deal. And I really think if you played along in that experiment with me, that you now agree. If you played along and thought of the worst athletic moment that you had, and you got really, 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 really rich and really, really, really famous, do you still look at it as a loss? Because Conor does. And that part I do disagree with him. Conor, in his saga with Khabib, Conor won. Khabib won more. But Conor won.